We now know what we should be doing, so let's do it. We're going to see how to run a mobile immunisation session in a village, starting with preparing the vaccine carrier at the health centre, through to the clean-up at the end of the day.
Before packing the vaccines into the carrier, you must take the ice packs out of the freezer and leave them on the bench for a while, until the outside of the pack no longer has frosty ice on it. This is called conditioning the packs. On a warm day, this can take 10 to 20 minutes. After this time, give them a shake. If you hear a little water inside, they're ready to use. We do this so the vaccines in the carrier will not be exposed to freezing temperatures.
Your own knowledge, along with the numbers supplied by the EPI manager and village leaders, will tell you how many babies and mothers there are in each village, so you can work out how many vaccine doses will be needed. Also be sure to check how many pregnant women there are and when they are expecting, and help them plan the next immunisation session for their new babies. Check the vaccine register, which should be completed for every village, listing every mother and eligible child and the vaccinations they have received. It is easy to work out how many doses of each vaccine will be required and who needs them for the next immunisation session. Simply count the next open spaces in the vaccine register. When selecting the vials from the refrigerator at the health centre, always choose the oldest vaccines that have not passed their use-by date, any unopened vials that were taken on previous outreach sessions, providing they were kept cold, and vaccines with a vaccine vial monitor that has started to change colour. Check the freeze watch indicator in the refrigerator. If it shows it has frozen, then do the shake test on freeze-sensitive vaccines. These are TT, Hep B, and HTP, Hep B, HIV vaccines. Now load the vaccine carrier and the ice packs, then place the vaccines, diluents and vitamin A capsules into the centre of the carrier. Cover with the foam pad and close the lid tightly. During the session, the vials in use at any time can be inserted into the slots cut into the foam. This makes them easily accessible and keeps them cool. The unused vials remain under the foam in the bottom of the carrier. There are other supplies you will need during the outreach session. Syringes for each type of vaccine, soap for washing hands and a clean towel or paper towels for drying, cotton wool, safety box, container for rubbish, immunisation register, immunisation tally sheet, new immunisation cards for women and infants, paper, pencils and pens, and if clean water for hand washing is not nearby, a water container may be needed.
Remember, immunisation is only part of the role of the health worker. While conducting an immunisation session, you should consider other things you can do.
For example, you could have bed nets for distribution, ORS and zinc tablets for those with diarrhoea, and antibiotics for anyone who may come in with a bacterial infection. The area set aside for the immunisation session can be either inside or outside, as long as it's clean. Tables and chairs, or even just a mat on the floor, are all that's needed. If outside, set up the clinic under a shady tree or a shelter if possible. The immunisation supplies, washing facilities, syringes and other things are set up on one side and the client area on the other. The safety box must be within easy reach so that the health worker does not need to walk to it. When mothers and babies arrive, check their immunisation cards and the vaccine register to see what vaccines have been received and which ones can be given this time. Give the selected vaccines. When multiple vaccines are given on the same day, use different injection sites. Finally, record all information on the tally sheet, immunisation register and immunisation cards. Be sure to remind the mother to come back when her baby's next immunisation is due. If the mother does not know whether her child has been immunised and there are no records in the register, give all the eligible vaccines. Check for a scar on the infant's shoulder or lower arm that would indicate BCG has been given. If no scar is found, immunise with BCG vaccine if the baby is under 1 year of age. Vitamin A is part of the EPI program and should be given every 6 months for children up to 5 years of age. A dose of 100,000 international units is sufficient for infants 6 to 11 months of age, and 200,000 international units for those 12 to 59 months of age. Tetanus toxoid vaccination should be offered to all women who are pregnant or at childbearing age. Take the opportunity when babies are brought to the clinic to offer TT to the mother and enter her name into the mother's immunisation register if not already there. If she has a vaccination card, give injections as indicated. If she has no card and cannot recall receiving this injection, give a dose of TT and make an appointment for a second dose. Remember to follow up the client if she does not return for her second TT injection. All infants and mothers should be immunised according to the schedule, except in rare circumstances. Babies who have severe reactions to vaccines and those who show signs and symptoms of AIDS should not receive BCG. Yellow fever vaccine should not be given to symptomatic HIV-positive persons. In most cases, even sick and malnourished children should be immunised. If a child has to spend time in hospital, they may come into contact with diseases such as measles, so need protection. Tell parents about possible side effects of the injections and advise them to come to the health centre if the child becomes ill after immunisation. At the end of the outreach session, it's time to pack up and return to the health centre. Put empty vials, open vials of reconstituted vaccines, and open vials of multi-dose vaccines without preservatives into a separate container and return them to the EPI manager. Leave the outreach site clean and tidy. No rubbish, syringes or vials are to be left behind. Thank the people who have helped arrange and run the clinic and advise them when the next session will be held. Take everything back to the health centre for sorting. The waste material must be given to the EPI management, who will arrange for it to be burnt. Open vials are discarded after being recorded by the manager. Ice packs should be returned to the freezer to prepare for the next time, and vials that are still usable placed in the refrigerator. Clean the vaccine carrier and leave it open to dry. The safety boxes and their contents are burnt in the special incinerators by someone who's been trained to do this. Remember, don't let the vaccines touch the ice in the carrier or be submerged in icy water. Keep the carrier closed tight all day. Be quick when you remove a vial. Involve the village volunteers to help remind clients to come to the immunisation sessions. Always listen to the concerns of parents and encourage them to complete the immunisation course. Return empty vials, reconstituted vaccines, and all open vials of multi-dose vaccines without preservatives to the EPI manager at the end of the session. And take all waste back to the health centre so it can be incinerated safely and as soon as possible.